Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayah Pataye Namaha. Om Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Atulita Baladhamam Hemashailaabhadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Dhyayami Chinmayanandam Gurudevam Mahamatim Prema Purnam Kriyashilam Sada Lokahiteratam Kripalum Sundarakaram Samartham Satyadarshinam Vacha Tattva Prakashinya Shoka Moha Vinashinam. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Namah Shri Tulsi Dasa Sadvaristhaya Dhimate Puritam Hridayam Yena Rama Premamrite Name. Om Shri Tulsi Dasaya Namaha. Hari Om. A very warm welcome to all of you for the series. In our last series, we concluded with a very important point. I thought a small detailing is a little required. So with your permission, we will just pick up the topic, conclude that and then proceed further. He has written so low about himself. What is it that which hinders our success? What is it that because of which we are unable to achieve what we want to achieve? What is it that because of which we are unable to even relate ourselves well, connect ourselves well with the people, the situation, and things around us? What is it that because of which we are frustrated? Flashes of joy come and go, but time and again we find ourselves to be cornered. And we also find people slowly moving away from us. Wicked people, if they move, good. People, thoughtless people who cannot understand our true sense of purity and the true sense of our connection, our love and affection. If they cannot understand, if they go, well and good. Blessings. But when we see people whom we want also to move away from us, then there is a question. Why? The only answer, ONLY, caps, quotes, underlined, emphasis, italics, bold, is ego. There is no other reason. All other reasons can be handled very well. All other reasons have got a very beautiful antidote to it. But the only thing which we are unable to handle, which is the cause for all the negative things that is happening around us, is our ego. Please note very carefully, our ego. We have nothing to do with others' ego. That is their problem. Let them handle it themselves. We have no business to talk about other people's ego. We have no business to point out others and then say, he is very egoistic, he is very arrogant, she is behaving like this. We have no business. That is none of our business. Our analysis here is to find out why all these things are happening, and the result is because of my own ego. Therefore, the primary requirement, the need of the hour is to handle our ego and all the results of that ego, byproducts of that ego is what? Arrogance, negativity, evil thinking. Think. This can be handled by remaining at the feet of the Lord, is the message by Santa Tulsi Das ji. The more and more I think of Bhagavan's virtues, I will have less and less of time to think about my ego and handle or mishandle or handle my own ego. Think. How do I make a small line bigger? We have discussed this earlier. How do I make a small line bigger without touching it? Simple. Put a bigger line. Then this becomes small. Similarly, if our time is spent at the feet of the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, Navavidha Bhakti is given to us. Definitely, if not in all the 9 forms, at least 3-4 forms, we will fit in. We just have to identify that. Once we identify that and pursue that path, you will find our mind more and more thinks of Bhagavan. For our mind to think more and more of Bhagavan, Bhagavan's glory is the only way. Bhagavan's Leela is the only way. Bhagavan's virtues are the only way. The more I see the virtues, I see them less in me. I see that Bhagavan's glory is greater. Therefore, the ego which I have is surrendered at the feet of Bhagavan. Think. This is the other name for surrender. The other name is humility. Humility is very important. Now, let us think a little differently also. To have humility in front of Bhagavan, everybody can do. Bhagavan, go touching his feet or Dirgha Danda Pranama, do Pradakshina, probably some Nama Japa, Mantra Japa, or sitting quietly. All these things we do. So, in front of Bhagavan, to be humble is not a very big issue. The problem comes when our arrogance, our ego shows its dirty picture in front of people around us. Our ego, our arrogance becomes very strong when I see the other people around us. Why do I have that? Because I see them to be human being. I see them to be another living creatures around. I am unable to see Bhagavan in them. If I see Bhagavan in them, then my ego will also be lowered down. It will be reduced. Humility will definitely come. But we are unable to see others as Bhagavan. We look at them as individuals. And we also very interesting say, they also have ego. If they can have ego, why should I not have ego? Think. Thus we find we propitiate our ego. We nurture our ego. We fuel our ego. And in that fueling, in that nurturing, in that propitiating of the ego becomes stronger and stronger day by day, minute by minute, and it expresses itself as an arrogant being in the world outside, which makes people to keep a distance, which pushes people away. Think. Therefore, by remaining lower on the ground, not skyrocketing, our ego is skyrocketing. But if we can bring our ego to the ground level and appreciate Bhagavan's glories, then we will find our mind will be available for a better activities also. Not only being with Bhagavan, even for our laukika jivana, our mind will be available to serve the society. Therefore, never ever think high of yourself. Remain on the ground is the message. Tulsi Dasi said, "Jo apne avagun sab kahamu." I have already, in the 12th section we saw, avagun apne kahamu. Whatever I have said, it is very, very little. Badai kata par nahi lahu. There are so many things I have not mentioned. Meaning what? My avagunas are too much. Isn't it true? We also. All of us have got avaguna. All of us know that we have got avaguna. This is another very interesting point. All the negativities, what we have, we are aware, but because of our masks, which we have been putting, which we have been wearing on our face, we cover up with that mask, but the inner being constantly throws up, constantly tickles us. Hey, are you what you are presenting yourself as? Think. Tulsi Dasi openly says, I have got so many avaguna. And what? all of them are there because of my samsarika bandhana. That also he said, isn't it? Therefore, Samuji, Bibidi, Bidi, Binati Mori, I fold my hands. Why should I fold my hands? I consider everybody as Bhagavan. I fold my hands and express my inability. Of what? I am not such a great Kavi. I am not a great Kathakar. Therefore, with folded hands, I express, I tell them, I don't have much talent, I don't have much vocabulary, but I want to sing the glories of the Lord. Why? That is the glory of the Lord. A very beautiful bhajan. I love this bhajan a lot. छोड़ दिया क्यों छोड़ दिया, हरि नाम वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया, जिसके स्मरण में अति सुख पावे वो स्मरण क्यों छोड़ दिया, झूठे जग में दिल लगाकर असल वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया, काम न छोड़ा क्रोध न छोड़ा सत्य वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया, काम न छोड़ा क्रोध न छोड़ा सत्य वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया, झूठे जग में दिल लगाकर असल वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया. We have given up thinking about the Lord. Why? No time. झूठे जग में दिल लगाकर. All of us have given importance to everything around us, but we have failed even to recognize our own true nature within ourselves. Therefore, the best way to find out and recognize and revere that truth, Parabrahma, Bhagavan in ourselves is think of him as a Bhagavan outside. Doesn't matter. Think about him. Sing his glory. And what more? A beautiful personification of that Supreme is given in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji, who lived the path of dharma, who lived the path of righteousness. And to his feet is my surrender. Think. So first is humility. Second thing is a very, very important factor, please. I'll give you a very good example. Here in Sadhana Mandira, you learn so much from even the small people. Actually, there is nothing called small people in a manner of saying. I should not call it as small people. There are two elderly ladies who come here once in a fortnight or so, who comes to clean, etc., etc. These beautiful vigrahas, what you see shining today, is because they come and beautifully wash it. Right? Otherwise, over a period of time, it will slowly become dark. Again and again, we have to wash it. When we wash this, it becomes very beautiful. It becomes bright. It shines, isn't it? Now, we have in our altar vigrahas, then there are lamps, and there are other lamps also we have. We have other deities also. I would very heartily welcome all of you to come to Sadhana Mandira sometime at least in your lifetime. You should come. I am talking of people who have not yet come. It's a very beautiful altar we have. There we have lot of lamps. Now let us suppose I tell them, Amma, you wash these lamps today These lamps we'll think about it next week. And the following week, probably we will think of Vigraha. Like that, I tell them. So they say, okay, Swami. They just obey. They just obey. They cannot think of anything else. They don't independently think of work aspect of it. Whatever I say, they do. So what did they do? Of course, I should not say that they don't think at all. Sometimes they think also. There are 3 levels of lamps. So what do they do? 2 levels they wash once, and the next week they wash the bigger ones. Before they take it for washing, all look alike. And when people come, they say, oh Swamiji, so beautiful lamps, from where did you get them? How nice, how beautiful it is. The Kerala lamps are all very beautiful lamps, to make a mention. Then, when they wash the first 2 levels, you will find after they bring them, suddenly you will find the 3rd level lamps doesn't look nice. Why? Those have not yet been washed. These 2 are washed. Therefore, these looks beautiful and those 2 doesn't look nice. Prior to their washing these, all of them were looking very nice. It is not that it is always kept dirty or not. But the moment you wash this one, the other looks a little more dirty. This is a very common feature even in our Laukika Jivana. When there are 2 people, a beautiful person looks more beautiful when the other person is not that very good looking. Just an example I am telling you. If both look beautiful, then the confusion comes who is more beautiful. But if the second person is not that beautiful, the first person looks more beautiful. Is it not? Similarly, dirty lamps, when washed, the other one which is not washed doesn't look very good. Meaning what? Now please, the point is the other lamps, all of them were actually not very clean, but the other lamp looks not very clean when this is cleaned up. When these are cleaned up, the other one doesn't look clean. Is it not? Like that, when we now look at it into our mind. We have been living in this life and thinking that we are always correct. The moment we look at one of our negativity, please be very attentive now. Please be very attentive now. When I recognize one of my negative part of it, you will slowly find there are another 2-3 negative aspects of mine cropping up. Cropping up meaning what? It was there, I start recognizing them. The more I focus on clearing up myself, meaning what? All are nothing but thoughts. All are thoughts only. When I clean up one particular negative tendency, another 2-3 comes to recognition. Then slowly I start recognizing more and more negative qualities within me. Take it as an exercise. Tonight when you sleep, not that you put your head and then you go to sleep. You always roll around a little, isn't it? So at that time, give your mind this thought. Recognize one negativity in you. Everybody have got. Don't say that you are too pure. Nobody is. Right? If you are too pure, you come here, I will remove this, you sit here. None of us are pure enough. Right? The moment you recognize one negativity, slowly it will show you, hey, I am not alone. See, this is also you have. These are also there, accompanying me. What? Negative thoughts, negative qualities, vices. And then you start digging further, you will find there are so many, and not realizing them, you have been with them. Therefore, now you can't clean them up so easily. At a stretch, like how I said, those many lamps at a stretch they cannot clean. It's very taxing. Similarly, our mind also, you cannot at one shot clean the whole mind. Impossible. Therefore, when I turn my attention more and more towards the virtues of the Lord, my negative mind slowly drops all those negativities. Vishayan vinivartante nirarasya dehinaha. Therefore, Tulsi Das ji wants us to recognize our negativity so that our thoughts will again slowly come to realize that I need to go and surrender at the feet of the Lord. My ego must surrender at the feet of the Lord. My arrogance must surrender at the feet of the Lord. Therefore, having this many negative qualities, it is not that so easy. Therefore, recognize the negativities, recognize the virtues, and surrender to the higher. This is the purpose. Right? Then, the third one is, don't take your mind for granted. Most important. Most of us, we take our mind for granted. We think we are the best. Never take your mind for granted. And never ever think that you are perfect. That very thinking is an imperfect thinking. Nobody is perfect in this world. Therefore, don't take your mind for granted. Don't take anything for granted. Then the fourth point. The purity of mind in the Jiva and the purity of mind in Bhagavan. Bhagavan is beyond mind. For the sake of understanding, Bhagavan is the purest of everything and the Jiva is nothing but impurity. The expression of impurity itself is equal to Jiva. So if you have a Jiva Bhava is equal to we are impure. Clean equation. I have Jiva Bhava, I have impurities. Simple. No much explanation also is required actually. If I cross over beyond the concept of Jiva, then I am Bhagavan. Think, God plus ego is equal to Jiva. God plus ego is equal to Jiva. Therefore, Jiva minus ego must be God. We are God. Plus ego is the problem. Therefore, humility is required. Therefore, surrender is required. And that is why he says, I am papi. I am a very small person. I have nothing with me. There is no greater quality in me. Think. I am telling this myself. Kabhi na ho, I am not a great Kavi. But if ete ho par kari je asanka, in spite of it, me telling that I am not a good person, if somebody starts pointing at me, I can only pity them because they are much foolish than me. This is what he said. And then finally he said, Samujata amita Rama Prabhutai. People who understand me will listen to my katha, will listen to my creation, and then they will understand Rama Prabhutai. They will come to realize the glory of Ramchandraji. That is what I want. I am not interested in what they talk about me. I want them to understand the Prabhutai, the Lordship, the glories of Rama, Bhagavan Shri Ramchandraji. And therefore I am singing Sarada Sesa Mahesa Vidhi. Sharada, Saraswati, Sesha, Adishesha with his 1,000 mouth, Mahesha, Bhagavan Shivaji, Bidhi, Brahma, Agama, Nigama, Purana, all of them may talk about it, but nothing is complete. Nobody can complete the glory of Bhagavan. Neti neti kahi jasu guna karahi nirantara gana. They can iti, there is no iti, there is no end for his glories. Therefore, karahi nirantara, there is no break. There is no commercial breaks, etc., etc. No break, nirantara. Constantly, continuously, consistently, comfortably, conveniently, they go on chanting the name of the Lord, go on giving the glories of the Lord, and that will only inspire the bhakta to more and more go towards the Lord. The more and more we turn our mind towards the Lord, the more and more things will drop us. Why? They are ignored. In Kannada, there is a very beautiful statement. Ahankarakke udasinave maddu. Wherever there is ahankara, ignore. Just ignore. Idanna mama. Leave it. And focus. Turn towards Bhagavan, and you will find the very thought of Bhagavan, the bhajans of Bhagavan, the glories of Bhagavan will fill our heart with so much of love, so much of joy, so much of happiness. And that is what we want. What else do we want? We want that joy. We want that never-ending happiness, everlasting happiness. And that only Bhagavan can give, please. Therefore, constantly sing the glories of the Lord. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.